Welcome back to Talking Beasts, the Narnia podcast. I'm still Glumpuddle.
And I am still Jim Fan.
And I am still here.
He's brilliant. Continuing our mission to crown the best Pauline Baynes illustration of all time. In the last episode, we narrowed things down to our final four, and today we're crowning a champion. Let's go. All right, first part of our semifinal, we have the iconic Lucy and Tumnus from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the awesome, lovely Puddleglum from The Silver Chair. His introduction for this character, who is my favorite character. So we already know which one I'm going to vote for. Ooh, so let me just get out of the way here. Winner of this one advances to the championship round.
Oh, no pressure.
So you know where my vote is. Let me let you guys hash it out here.
Tell us why it's your.
Yeah, why?
Justify it.
That is fair.
We could arm wrestle right here.
I just think it captures the mood of the scene so well. It kind of has a kind of long lens kind of feel to it, that sense of depth it has. And it tells a little story with the way Lewis describes how the Marshwiggles all lived really far apart with their wigwams all kind of dotted around because they like privacy. And it tells a little story. You got the eels behind him. It conveys the mystery about the character. Like I said, we don't know who or what he is at this point. We don't really know if Puddleglum is human, and Jill and Eustace are a little nervous about it. So it kind of creates that expectation. And I think a lot of the best Pauline Baynes illustrations. So there's a lot of room for you to fill in your imagination here because we can't see him. We're just seeing him from the back. So it kind of evokes that emotion of that kind of quiet loneliness Lewis describes about what it felt like to be there but still letting your imagination do its thing. So it kind of, it's such a great introduction for that character. Really, this illustration is one of the reasons Puddleglum is my favorite character because it made me want to. It has that slight ominousness of who and what is he.
Ominous.
It makes me want to know. And it does reveal, I think, something about his character. I mean, he's kind of doing his own thing, enjoying the kind of lonely atmosphere, and just owning it. So it's a great introduction for his character. I just can't imagine reading The Silver Chair without this illustration. I think this is one of the ones that, even in the ones that cuts out a lot of them, this one always seems to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Very fair.
So you know where my vote is. Now,
if
you guys can hash this out.
If you're on the fence, then he and I are arm wrestling for winner.
I'm not. I don't think I'm on the fence. To me, this is...
We're not arm wrestling then.
Oh, okay.
This is iconic... Silver Chair.
I agree. I can't imagine reading Silver Chair without that illustration.
I cannot imagine reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe without this.
Yeah.
Like,
I would agree.
Lucy in the snow.
No, we're not asking you to. We're not going to call HarperCollins and say, "Hey, just so you know, we finished our recording and we have to get rid of it." We're not doing that. Just to be clear about that.
Well, to me,
down with Tumnus.
They're both so iconic, but I love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe more.
Oh my!
That has my vote. It does because
I'm not going to get angry.
It's so to the same way you have all these beautiful descriptions, and I don't have the words to say, but it's just like to me it evokes the quietness, the peacefulness of a snowy woods night.
And it's such a fairy tale.
And it's such it's like he's the fawn and he has his red scarf and they're friends and they're walking together and it's just that is to me that is Narnia.
And I really get the sense
that has my vote.
I really get the sense of the adventure started. Where are they going? I love the footsteps leading towards the camera, so to speak. I mean that's a great image. I'm only going to be a little bit angry.
I mean this one does sum up that character in that scene as an intro so beautifully.
But which one? You must choose.
This one, I feel like if I just saw these even in absence of the story, this one I feel like is just kind of inviting me to the story.
Which is why it's actually been used on the one volume edition of Chronicles of Narnia before.
So I'm gonna vote with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe C3.
Okay. Disappointed, but not that disappointed because this is a really great image. So our 3 seed, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, probably to the surprise of no one. Moving on to the championship round.
For our next semifinal, we have the 7 seed from Dawn Treader, beautiful portrait of Reepicheep, and we also have our 5 seed from Magician's Nephew.
It's supposed to get more difficult as we go.
The Flying Horse. This is genuinely difficult, actually. I love both of these. So it's like Reepicheep. It's so iconically like this is your introduction to him as a character. This tells you so much of what you need to know about him. But then you have Magician's Nephew, which is it's a beautiful painting. Like I love the background. I love the clouds.
I think it captures it does kind of make you want to clutch onto something a little bit. You kind of capture the feeling of speed and flying.
It's well drawn. It's so evocative.
Kind of a triumphant moment.
Yeah.
You know?
I love this just for like the whole like evocativeness of the photo. Of the picture. It just brings so much. Like it makes you just like, oh, that's a beautiful illustration.
And you have the sense of, on to our next adventure.
Yes.
What's waiting for us next. So many reasons to advance this one to the championship round, but for me, not quite enough because I'm still that Reepicheep image. Just what else can I say? Actually, I'm not quite sure what that is that he's standing on. It's sort of like a shadow, just a bit of the floor.
It's a
shadow
but I love it.
on the deck.
But I love it.
Deck
But that
on the
orange
photo.
part, And I should have mentioned, we're looking at the full color editions of these. She originally did these in black and white, and we decided to look at the color versions.
Which is
think she
so...
did she did a really good job. But that kind of yellow-orange bit, I guess that's just the deck, or for some reason we're only seeing a bit of it, but I love it. I love how it balances out the image. I love his right hand, how it just kind of hanging there. I don't know. Just a sense of balance to it. And I love being able to look at an image and I just feel like you know so much about that character just from that one image. It really is a picture that says 1,000 words. So yeah, let's just get that out of the way. My vote's for Reepicheep going to the semifinal. You guys can hash it out from here.
This is a really tough one. And I think it's important to say,
Is it
obviously,
really?
for the final four, they're all going to be great images. Right.
Yeah.
So this is
That's fine.
Any vote against one is not going to be fine. It's not going to be a knock on it. The thing is, I do love this image, and I'm trying to think like, boy, if I were to get like an original, which one would I want? Like, hey, here's the original Pauline Baines illustration. You can have it in your house. I don't know. I'm trying to think here. Which one I would even want?
If that's the criteria, like, what would you want on your wall?
Well, no, it's not just. That's not
Probably
just
that one.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think about even. The books without it. I can't think of a good criteria to really put everything on a good even.
You know what? Another thing that I think the Reepicheep one does is it really emphasizes his introduction as a really important part of the story. To have a full illustration of Reepicheep, because he's gonna become. We don't quite know it at the time. But he's gonna become extremely important.
Yeah, and I love both of these. I've made my decision. And at some point, I think sometimes I look at these images, I confuse my love for the character with the same as my love for the image. So I'm going to go with The Magician's Nephew because I think just comparing the two images, this is not a reflection on my love for the character of Strawberry or Fledge versus Reepicheep, obviously. But just looking at the two images, I love the Reepicheep image, but I like this one more.
And you're free to use whatever criteria you want, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, for me,
at the end of the day, it's kind of like, which one do you like better?
For me,
at the end of the day, I can justify it however I want.
Yeah, I'm tending to think of this more as like what's kind of a good image, of course, but what tends to be a little more important as well is what's kind of helpful to the story in the context of the story.
You can have whatever criteria
and both of these are helpful.
want.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
There's no rules.
Yeah.
No rules.
So, Jim Fan, that leaves it to you.
Tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls out a coin. We all pull our hair out. I don't care.
Favorite sisters. No. I think my love for the beauty of this illustration lends me to say that The Magician's Nephew is just a beautiful illustration. But I love this Reepicheep one, and it pains me. But
it's supposed to be
I still
hard.
don't know which way you're going.
Semifinal. It's a semifinal. It's supposed to be hard.
We can go into overtime.
Don't say the word overtime on Talking Beasts. We'll do it.
Between the two Reepicheep images that we had, this is my least favorite of the two, even though I voted for the other one not to go through because I like the other image better.
You did the bracket wrong.
So
what?
I'm going with Magician's Nephew because I love that illustration.
Our championship round, it has all come down to this. On my left, we have a 5th seed, Magician's Nephew. Bit of a bracket buster. A 5th seed, Magician's Nephew, making it to the championship round. And on my right, a 3rd seed, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, with Lucy and Tumnus. So we've kind of said it all. It's all brought us to this. And yeah, let's just start off with, want to do a 3, 2, 1 point? We'll just point to the winner.
Are we pointing on one or like 3, 2, 1?
We're gonna go
3, 2, 1.
We're going to go 3, 2, 1 point. No, let's do it on one. You're right. That's better.
Wait, you're
It
confusing
doesn't
me.
matter as long as we know.
We
what
got to
we're
get
doing.
drama into this somehow, don't we?
3.
We should
2.
here.
Can
Let's,
the
hold
podcasters-
on. Let's introduce some suspense.
Okay.
We'll be at each other's throats and increase the tension.
Okay. So on the count of 3, let's point to our pick
Wait.
for
3,
Wait.
2, 1, or 1, 2, 3.
3. We're going to go 3, 2, 1. Okay.
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 We had to had some drama into the championship
Okay,
round after
let's
all.
go. We gotta do this
right.
And on the so please point to the winner of the what is going to be NarniaWeb.com.
What is this? Where am I?
NarniaWeb.com's build it up a little bit. NarniaWeb.com's pick for the greatest Narnia Pauline Baines illustration of all time. 3, 2, 1. And there we have it. It's, of course, you kind of knew all along, didn't you?
Kinda knew.
The classic, iconic image. This is one of the
Okay.
it's one of the great evocative images Lewis came up with, and it's apparently the great image that Pauline Baines.
I almost didn't pick it. And here's why. Because I didn't want the publishers to choose for me. Because the publishers choose this a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, well,
You're not a sheep.
no, I'm not.
Maybe
But-
a little bit, I guess.
But I thought, okay. I asked myself, am I a sheeple? But I thought, you know what? I think they're picking it for the same reason I am. I can't think of a single criteria I've used, which is all ad hoc. Let's be honest. As we went through this, I made it up as I went.
Completely
But
subjective.
I can't think of any criteria I've used that didn't apply to this one also.
Yeah.
Like if I were to have one picture on my wall, it would be this one.
Yeah.
If I were to, which is the most essential to include in any story, it's going to be this one. You
Yeah.
know?
I think it captures not just it's that great memorable moment in one of the most famous books in children's literature, but I think it just there's something about it that captures the series as a whole, and that wasn't necessarily part of my criteria for choosing it, but I just appreciate that you've got a very normal looking girl from Earth and just arm in arm and making friends with this strange creature, and that to me that just tells you something about the tone of the series. It has
It
this
does.
wonderful fairy tale quality to it, but I think there's I hate using the word greediness, but I know it feels a little
Greed is
like there's
shorter
this
than greediness.
mystery kind of because there's the dark on the edges. There's this sense of mystery to it, slight ominousness of excitement about where they're heading, but also it could be a little scary too. So yeah, obviously I would have rather preferred Puddleglum, but not gonna cry. I'll just cry a little bit because this
Tonight.
is a great choice.
Tonight.
This is a great choice.
On the drive home.
Anything to add, Jin Fan?
Yeah, I know, just kind of what you said about it not only sets the tone for this particular story, but kind of how I feel about the Narnia series as a whole, which is it's very evocative, but it's also very simple. Like the Narnia series is not this overcomplicated, very elaborate, very complex thing. Like the concepts in it are simple. The stories themselves are simple.
Like Lewis does so much with so little.
Yes, but they're so powerful just the way they are. It's almost like you don't need to overcomplicate this. You don't need to make it so fancy. It's like it is perfect just the way it is. And this is just strikes the right balance of it's extremely simplistic, but it's also it tells you everything you need to know. So that is why it's like in my mind like the obvious winner. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't really see it any other way.
And here it is at the top of our Baines bracket, the kind of official NarniaWeb.com best Narnia Pauline Baines illustration of all time.
I call dibs on this printout that you made.
You can have it. Okay.
There you go.
But thank you so much to our Patreon supporters for voting. Thank you so much to everyone for watching. Further up and further in.